Hi, friends. Welcome to HiveTalks, and thank you for joining us on episode 2. Let's be honest, most corporate training is like that extra long meeting that could have been on an email. But what if learning came in tiny addictive doses? Right to your WhatsApp and actually made you curious? Today, on HiveTalks, the man on a mission to make learning so engaging, you might even look forward to it. We explore ideas on HiveTalks, people, and innovations shaping the way we work, live, and grow. I'm your host Sujata, and my guest today is Harshit Garg, co-founder of Leap 10x, an AI-powered microlearning platform that's delivering bite-sized gamified learning experiences straight to your WhatsApp. No app, no login, and absolutely no excuses platform. Harshit, welcome to Hive Talks. When you were in school, what's one thing that would have made look forward to your class? What was it about?
Hey Sujata, thank you for having me. Looking forward to our talk. And I think when I was school, I was more curious about experimenting, exploring, seeing how things work. I remember I used to take those old wires and just
Mhm.
try to make some experiments out of them, like making a bulb light just with an old wire, old cell that used to have, and that was something I love to explore. While back in the school days.
So, could I say that you were that rancho of your school who usually experimented and brought something to life?
You can say I love to experiment. Didn't know if it made out there, but love to experiment at that point of time. So was curious enough to see how things were working more from a practical point of view.
So, how did curiosity treat you then, and how does curiosity treat you now?
I think as we see, the world is changing a lot more, right? And we are bombarded with a lot of information these days. I think back then you had limited view and you were curious about some of the things. I think now my curiosity is even more because there is so much that is going on, and I'm really excited to know, how this technology is working, how this particular thing can help us, how this can change the world. So I think my curiosity level has even doubled, but I think the roots are still from that particular child in fifth standard exploring wires, building volcanoes and stuff like that. So I think from that roots, I'm still on that curiosity path.
Wow, that's nice. If I told you 5 years ago that corporate learning could happen entirely on WhatsApp, what would have been your view on that? What would you have said at that point in time?
I would have said like it's not possible. WhatsApp is for chatting, for groups, for families, for sharing information. But what we see nowadays is a lot of corporate communication is happening on WhatsApp. We have corporate groups, we have official groups where we are sharing information. Uh, Maybe even some of them is not even official, but it's the best medium to reach anyone. You want to talk to your customer, you might be sending an email, but then you'll be pinging them on WhatsApp. Hey, I've sent you an email. This is a quick one. And WhatsApp has become a natural way of conversation for people, mostly in India, what we are seeing. And I think that is what making it possible. The behavior change that people have made in the last 10 years of WhatsApp coming and then shifting it from just a personal chat or family chat to professional chats. I think now what we are seeing is the change in that particular way, and it is absolutely possible nowadays with all the APIs that WhatsApp is giving to reach to your thousands or 10 thousands of workers at the same time and communicate or give them trainings or whatever information that you want to share to them.
I think WhatsApp is one of its own kind of an invention, which is given that edge over a period of time. Initially, it was just a messaging app, just send a message, receive a message. But now I think it has grown multifold in terms of features and in terms of what it can offer to many people. WhatsApp has become a lifeline for a lot of people. Even today, when I think about my parents, they did not have any medium, no phones, nothing during my parents' time. Only letters, telegrams were the medium of information, or sending those messages, even understanding something. Was that slowly, steadily, the evolution began when you actually had a telephone coming in, and then post the telephone, it was the mobile, and after the mobile, generation who have seen almost everything. New evolution. Of course, a lot of things are yet to come.
But it's not just restricted to one particular set of users or one particular set of employees. everyone in your company, even your frontline or blue collar, will have access to WhatsApp, and doing some kind of communication via WhatsApp. Even a housemaid will be giving you chutti in the morning on WhatsApp rather than calling or giving you an SMS. That's the change that we are seeing, how WhatsApp is becoming such an important tool in everyday communication.
Pick up a thread from what you said. A quick question to you: why is so much corporate and academic learning still boring?
At the academic or corporate training level, what we are seeing is it's more of a long lectures kind of a thing, long boring lectures, I would call them, or the PDFs, long PDFs, which might not have 100% relevance in the work we do. I mean, I can ask you or anyone else also, whatever we learned during our college, in the textbooks, we might not be using even 5% of that right now. It's mostly in that particular, like, textbooks only, or used to just pass the papers. But what we learn on the go in the trainings, on the job, is something that makes it super helpful for us. I think we are seeing a change. Even academicians are now talking about this, even corporates are talking about this, how we can remove the clutter, remove or change our entire strategy of delivering trainings to making them impact oriented or the outcome oriented that we are looking for. I think this is a huge shift that is going on, from standardized trainings to very curated, cultivated, and impact driven trainings.
Was there a specific moment where you thought enough is enough? We need to rethink how people learn.
So I used to work in a factory, and used to manage frontline and blue collar workers myself. What I saw was we used to give them toolbox talks daily, like before the shift, spend 15 minutes with them, right, and give them toolbox talk. And what I saw was the workers over there were using smartphones, and they were actually following me on Instagram, and commenting and liking my post, and chatting with me over there. That was the moment when I realized that, hey, they also have access to tools or the social media platforms that you and me are using. And nowadays, what we see is we are learning a lot from the social media as well. Could be about finance, could be about some new topic, or anything else, right? And they are also consuming the content same way. So that was the moment for me that, okay, if everyone is on these platforms nowadays, they have access to smartphone, they have access to internet, can we create a platform which delivers training in the social media way, even to the frontline workers, like making it super simple that it can train anyone, like your frontline, your blue collar, your white collar, in a very short bite-sized way. And that was the moment I saw that we have to move away from just physical trainings which are given in classrooms, or long lengthy lectures that we give, to what actually people need, and the way people are actually consuming the content and the content retaining with them.
So how does Leap 10x take something that people dread and turn it into something they can't wait to engage with?
Three, four pillars that we have built the platform basis. The first is obviously the content. If you have a long training, right, we try to convert it into a short 4 5 minutes module, which captures a particular essence outcome that needs to be driven, right? So it is converted into that particular bite sized. Then it is made with instructional design formats, which make sure that the learning sticks with the user. The content is curated in that particular fashion and designed in a particular way. The second part is how we engage the user. So the UI is very similar to an Instagram story or in shorts or WhatsApp story format, which they're already familiar with and spend mostly 2 3 hours on a daily basis using the same UI. So you are not making them look at something else. So it's very very fluent in the way they are already engaging with other apps. So the UI does not feel like a training app. It feels like a social media app only. And the third and the most important is making it frictionless for them to get this content. There is no new app, no login, no sign up, and at the same time you get all the analytics, all the behavior changes, and everything, every aspect of the analytics that you want, while delivering this on WhatsApp. So the concept is no new app for your workforce. They can get it engaged on the apps they already have. I think these are the three main core pillars on which we make content super engaging for the learners using Leap 10
Just to clarify, is it like when we open the WhatsApp statuses? I mean, there are cards that are there, and you just scroll, and every story you can watch.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the addition to it is you can have video in it, you can have audio, you can have quiz, you can have poll, you can have open-ended feedback, or you can give a link to any external item also that you want to give to them. So it's in that particular UI, but with a lot of interesting gamified features, which keeps the learner engaged and gives them the information you want to give them in the best possible way.
When we speak about AI, there are so many tools, so many things in the market. People look at AI, they have started imbibing AI in their day to day life, starting from ChatGPT, of course. That has the first mover advantage in the AI field. So, when we speak about that, how do you think Leap 10x leverages that platform, and how do you think it is that people can look forward to?
All are at the start of AI. Like the revolution has just started, right? And L&D itself is seeing a huge upside from the AI. I'll give you few examples. I think the first one is absolutely about the content creation part. What used to happen nowadays, even most of the corporate trainings or the e-learning that is created, it usually takes 4 to 6 weeks to create one training. And let's say you have some rules and regulation coming in, or there is a new product that you want to introduce, you will have to wait for 4 to 6 weeks to create that training, and then to roll out that training, and then to get that feedback back from the users, and then modify the training. So it's almost like a 10 to 12 weeks of process that you will have to go into to roll out any kind of training to your workforce, right? Now, when things are moving at much faster pace, you want something to be rolled out in few days, not in few weeks or even few minutes. Sometimes you want, there's a new regulation coming in, right? You want everyone to be updated about it. How do you do it? I think this is where AI comes into picture, where you can create this content at a super fast pace, which is not like a generic content. It is very customized, very brand specific, very problem specific that you want to solve. And that's the beauty of AI. And that's how we are leveraging AI. We have one feature where you can put in your PPT, SOP, or any other document that you have, and you can get a entirely created micro module in 5 minutes on the platform, which is highly specific to your audience, to your brand, with audio cards, with video cards, with image, text, quizzes, and everything. So the entire content gets created in like 5 minutes. Consider it as a co-pilot, which gives you base content, which is like 80% to what you want to do.
You speak about it so passionately, Harshit. Let me ask you a question. Give me a story where you saw Leap 10x change the way people learn, the human plus AI equation. Some people hear AI and think impersonal, robotic. How do you use AI to make learning more human?
AI, like an individual thing that can be used, or create anything else, right? It has to be AI plus human always. That's where we say that when you use AI as a co-pilot and not just like a final outcome, along with the human, that's super powerful, right? And I can give you multiple stories, but something that is coming to my mind. So for one of our customer, what we saw was, I think this is more on the content piece. They had a content that needs to be rolled out to almost like 2000 plus users. And they had a timeline that, hey, we'll have to create it in 12 different languages. We need maybe around 6 to 8 weeks to do it, right? Because that's the typical L&D timelines that we used to have. But what we did on our platform, we created that module within just 1 hour in all the 12 languages, and we were ready to roll it out the same moment. And it surprised our customer that how can it happen so fast, and with that much of clarity, that much of conciseness in the content. How can it happen? I think we reduced the timeline of the entire project from 8 weeks to just 3 days, where we were, first day created the content, second day we rolled it out, third day we had the feedbacks already from the users, and we kind of like modified the content and understood what needs to be changed. So that's the superpower that L&D can get, the speed at which they can roll out the trainings. And the trainings are not gonna take like, the impact can be seen of that training in that particular week itself. You don't need to wait for 2 months to see the impact.
Give me one use case where you say AI may not be replacing trainers, Because from where I see, if we are creating these kind of a content using different AI tools, I mean, content is very freely available in the open source nowadays. So do you see AI replacing trainers, or on the other hand, making them more superhuman?
AI is gonna add value to what you already know. It is not gonna replace you. It is actually going to make you a superhuman, because the amount of knowledge, intelligence that AI has now, it can actually help you do a lot of stuff. But there are few instances or few places where humans need to interfere. It could be around, you are creating a training for a particular group or particular cohort, right? It will be very different for specific region, let's say in India, versus in Brazil or versus in US, right? You need to understand there are specific cultural nuances in each of the regions, right? And I think you need a human to verify and see how those cultural nuances are relating to your cohort. And you need to make sure that your training, your content, or how it is getting delivered are basically customized to that particular cohort. That is where humans will always be in the loop.
Catering to other cohorts. In the L&D, people nowadays are speaking about strong leaderships, the development of leadership. So how do you think Leap 10x would scale up on that particular front?
If we talk about the future of learning, Sujata, right now, like particularly in the frontline space, India or in the world, 80% of your workforce is frontline. And they there are still very, very few tools which cater to the frontline workforce. While they represent your brand, they represent customer service. They are the ones talking to your customers, and there's a huge need of training this particular frontline. The companies who have realized this have actually had an edge, and they realize it not just now; they realize it a decade back or maybe 2 decades back. Consider a company like IHCL or Taj, right? They take pride in training their frontline, and that is reflected in the way a customer perceives their brand or how they experience the brand. Training, as we all know and see, it can change the businesses at a huge, huge level. While in the technology side and at the Leap 10x side, what we see is with Frontline getting access to smartphones, cheaper internet. It used to be 250 rupees for 1 GB back before Geo. Now it is like 250 rupees per day, you get 1 GB. So the internet is super, super, super cheap. They have access to smartphones. They have access to apps like WhatsApp and Instagram. So what we see is in the next 5 years, we see most of the trainings for the frontline will happen on the apps they already have. Maybe WhatsApp, maybe something else that they already have. But right now, we see WhatsApp as the biggest medium to reach to this frontline. 98% open rates. Almost everyone has the access to this. And what some of the interesting facts that we see over WhatsApp is they have a report which says 75% of the conversations on WhatsApp are happening in English. They are typed in English but read as Hindi. And they have the insights, and they are seeing how consumers or how users are behaving, and that actually helps us also design the content and how we can make it super engaging for them. So while these are some of the things that we are seeing changing, the behavior shift that is happening, I think companies are still on the start of this transition right now, and they are seeing and they are shifting their gears. They are also changing how they used to train people using standard LMSs or the apps that needs to be installed to moving to the apps the people already have. And I think the future is this only. You will have to go where your user already is. You can't force them, having another app to be installed. Have an app. We already have an app fatigue. Like most of us just sometimes just uses an app for one particular action, then deletes it then and there only. And we sometimes just prefer कि WhatsApp पे ही आ जाए तो बहुत अच्छा है. So that is how the consumer behavior is shifting, and it will slowly move into the corporate world also, where the corporate tech will also shift from standalone apps to the apps which are already available. You don't need that kind of a friction uh, to reach to your workforce.
So we spoke about the future of learning a few moments back, Harshit. That was a very very valid point that you touched upon. So let's fast forward to 2030. What does a day in a life of a learner look like?
So I think two things will happen. One is the push-based thing will happen because companies will realize what needs to be learned rather than going through a Netflix kind of a library. You would want what is necessary for me. I just want that. So the companies will be pushing that content out. The second is there'll be chat kind of interfaces where, let's say, you want to know something, you're talking to a customer, or you are in you're using something and you just got struck, right? Or you are going to a negotiation, you want to just get a quick updates that, hey, what are some of the pointers I can use. So you will do a chat, you will ask those specific questions, and you will have that answer right on your palm. So I think these are the two things that are going to do in the future. You will not go through the libraries where companies have made massive Netflix like libraries. Even on Netflix nowadays, uh, I mean, personally for me, it is very very difficult to select the movie I want to watch. I either take
Yeah.
reference from one of my friends that, hey, tell me which movie I want to watch, or I'll go to Instagram where I follow one page which gives daily recommendation on which movies you should watch. So I think this library concept will go away completely. There'll be chat based interfaces where we'll be chatting and getting the answers right what we need, or there'll be specific trainings that get pushed by the companies in a push based manner because they know what is changing, they know what their employees need to know, be it on the compliance end, be it on the product end, be it on the customer service, be it on any other skill they want their employees to have, which is going to help them. So I think these are the two things that will be the future of learning in 2030.
Very, very interesting. I loved your response there. If every company adopted microlearning with AI, what do you think would change first? Productivity, skills, or culture?
I think culture first. People will see that trainings actually work. They'll be excited to ask for more trainings. That, hey, we need these kind of trainings, and behaviors will change a lot. First of all, I think that is a huge change that will happen. People will see this change. I think the second would be productivity because they'll be getting right things at the right moment that they need it. Yeah, that's how I see. But culturally, people will be like, "Hey, my company is also modern nowadays. They are not giving me those boring trainings. They know how I learn, and they the trainings are not just for the checkbox now. They're actually for me to engage with it and learn from them."
Thank you so much for this, Harshit. Let's do a quick rapid fire. First question: coffee or chai to power your day?
So, chai with my wife and coffee when I'm alone.
Your guilty pleasure app, apart from WhatsApp, of course.
I think LinkedIn. So I love to read deep dives on LinkedIn, which people are sharing. Super helpful to give me perspective on where the industry is moving, what leaders are talking about, and how the things are changing in the world of work.
One word colleagues would use to describe you.
Relentless, I think.
The last time you truly got curious about something outside of work.
Daily. So I've got a small kid. He's 6 months old. So I'm daily seeing what he's doing new. So making me curious on how to handle him, seeing all that he's doing. So the curiosity level of his is also ours actually on a daily level.
Module you secretly wish existed on Leap 10x.
How to handle toddlers.
One skill you're currently trying to learn yourself.
Start with AI, trying to explore what different things can be done with AI. Could be around automating the workflows, could be around automating content creation, getting the intelligence out of industry reports. So, a lot is around AI and using AI for work and for personal stuff as well.
The best advice you have ever received about building something new.
Fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. You'll ultimately navigate yourself to find the perfect solution. But if you love the problem, you'll definitely find it.
Go to stress buster after a long day of work.
Board games is something that I love.
Last but not the least, if you had to summarize Leap 10x in three emojis, what would they be?
The mobile phone, Bolt, which is the symbol of like fast, and brain, which gives you the knowledge. So fast knowledge on your mobile phone.
Interesting. Finally, curiosity or consistency. Which one wins for you?
Both are required. So curiosity is something that sparks the fire, and consistency is something that keeps the fire for long. So you need both curiosity and consistency.
It was fun having you here on episode 2 of Hive Talks. Thank you, Harshit, for joining us. And for the listeners, if you loved this episode, please drop us a comment, your feedback, and yes, a lot of suggestions as well. We will also be looking forward to your participation in this, where you can suggest as to what are the different topics that we can further cover and which people would you want to be hosted by us as well. Until then, stay focused, stay inspired. Das Vidanya. Thank you so much.